welcome to my channel. In this video I'd like to present a tutorial for this cardigan. I made it for my daughter, but you can crochet it for any size you want. I explain everything in my tutorial. It's top down with a round yoke, anatomic round yoke. What do I mean? I mean that the back part of the cardigan is longer than the front side, and this is the difference. It's a rather little difference because my daughter is little, but our body requires this difference because in this mode it fits very good. I made the cord with the decorations. We start not with a simple foundation chain but with a nice foundation chain that doesn't need any edging at the end. It is very easy to crochet because the pattern is only one row and it is double face. Look. That is. My tutorial is very detailed, so it is good also for the very beginners. Let's start to crochet. For this cardigan, you can use any type of yarn you want, any color you have, whatever you want. So I will use this yarn of the Turkish producer Ice Yarns. It's baby merino yarn. It's 40% merino wool, 20% polyamide and 40% acrylic. In 50 grams there are 200 meters, and the hook and the knitting needles, the producer recommends us 3 millimeters. I will use the hook 3.5 millimeters because I want my cardigan more soft. I want my stitch to be more loose. For this yarn, if you could be interested, I will leave you the link below in my description box. But as I said, you can use any yarn you want of any length, any thickness. It doesn't matter at all. I want to combine two colors, so I have this yarn. It's also half acrylic, half wool yarn. It has about the same length of this baby merino yarn. I want to combine these two colors, but you can use the same color for all the cardigan as well. We'll need also a measuring tape. Then we'll need the scissors for our work and the 4 stitch markers. If you don't have stitch markers of any type, you can use paper pins or safety pins or even just the pieces of yarn. We'll start to make our cardigan from the neckline, so we should know the length of our neckline. What do I do when I need to work some piece garment from the neckline? I want to do a cardigan, so I will take another cardigan. I will not take a t-shirt because if I want to do cardigan, I take a cardigan of my daughter, which I like, which I know that this neckline suits very good for my daughter. I'm taking this cardigan and I'm taking the measure of the neckline, the length. I will start here and I'm going to measure it because I want the cardigan with the same neckline. I like it, it's good, so I want the same. 31 centimeter. Okay, I will do the neckline long 31 centimeter. Surely you can take the measuring tape and put it around the neck of your baby, but for me it's difficult because the babies are always in movement. Then if you put around the neck the measuring tape, it will be difficult for you to understand how long should be the neckline because the measuring tape, it's another thing. It's not like a neckline of the cardigan. If you don't have any garment, any cardigan of the baby, if you are far from your niece, far from your granddaughter, you can use the charts with the measures, and I will attach the chart here. You can consult it, you can make a screenshot, or you can find it on my below or on my Instagram page. Let's start with making the foundation chain of the same length of your neckline. Let's start with our foundation chain. I want to make very nice and very easy foundation chain, unusual foundation chain, which is nice, and you will not need to work any edge, any border after you finish the cardigan. So put the tail of the yarn on your finger, insert the hook from this side, turn the hook, fix the yarn with your fingers, yarn over, pull through. This is our slip knot. Now I'm going to chain 3. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. I have made 3 chains, and now I'm going to work a double crochet into the 3rd chain. I'll let you see. This is the 1st chain, the 2nd, and the 3rd. Here I will insert my hook. Yarn over, I'm inserting the hook into the 3rd chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now let's chain 3 again. Yarn over, 1, yarn over, 2, yarn over, 3, and again a double crochet into the 3rd chain. I will show you the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd. Here yarn over, I'm inserting the hook into the 3rd chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. I have worked a double crochet. Let's continue. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, insert the hook into the 3rd chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, another double crochet. And in this way I'm going to continue to work my foundation chain. And as I measured my neckline, I decided to make it 31 centimeter. I will go on till my foundation chain length will not be 31 centimeters. I have made my foundation chain. Let's measure it together. I'll start from 0 here. I'm pulling it a little bit, not very much, just a little bit, and I arrive at 32 centimeters, maybe something more. I could undo the last piece, but I prefer to leave it like this, and after I'll finish the 1st row, I'll measure it another time. If it will be too long for me, I will undo this piece from this side. So let's start with the 1st row. The row number 1. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. This chain of 3 is instead of 1 double crochet, because we are not able to start the row directly with the double crochet. Then chain 1, yarn over, and I'm going to insert the hook into the space between our chain of 3 and the double crochet, just inside this space. grab the yarn, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. I worked a double crochet. Then chain 1, yarn over, and I'm going to insert the hook into the space between our next double crochet and the chain of 3 here. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. I worked a double crochet here. Now chain 1, yarn over, and into the same space I'm inserting the hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And I have worked another double crochet. Now chain 1, yarn over, I'm going to work another double crochet into the next space here. Then chain 1 and another double crochet into the same space. In this row I'm going to work 2 double crochets into each space between our double crochet and the chain of 3, and between all the double crochets I will chain 1. I will show you again. Chain 1, yarn over, and a double crochet into the next space, because into this space there are already 2 double crochets. So I'm going to insert the hook into the next space, and I'm going to work a double crochet. Then chain 1, and as here we have only 1 double crochet, I'm going to work the second double crochet into the same space. We have double crochets here, so I will chain 1 and pass to another space and work double crochet here, then chain 1 and the second double crochet into the same space. I think here everything is clear. Let's do double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1 in every space, in each space 2 double crochets. And let's meet at the end of the row. I have finished the first row. Let's take the measures of my neckline. So from 0 I'm pulling a little bit, and if I complete all my row I will arrive at 32. I will show you better. I will arrive 32.5 centimeters. It's too much for me, so I'm going to undo the last 2 double crochets. Yes, this piece I will eliminate. Now. It's very easy. You should just pull out the yarn. You should look where the yarn goes and follow it and pull it. I didn't want to eliminate it before because I didn't know how the extension of the yarn, how does it stretch. Now I see that it stretches good, and I didn't need any more of this piece. Yes, here, here. There is only one piece to eliminate. and I prefer to be sure that I don't need this piece. Okay, I'll stop here, and the tail I will hide later. So, pulling, I arrive at 31 centimeter. Let's look where will I stop exactly, where will I finish my double crochets. I stopped here with 2 double crochets into the last space. Now I need to know how many spaces do I have now. I mean these spaces between double crochets. This. So I need to count my spaces. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. 37 spaces. 37 is an odd number, and I must have an even number. What will I do in this case? I will just add another space. I will chain 1 and work a double crochet here into the stitch which we skipped. Here, here, here. I'm going to work a double crochet here. That is what I have now. I have 38 spaces. It's an even number. This is the beginning, and this is the end of my neckline. So the first row is completed. You may have 28, 36, 44 spaces. It depends on your yarn and on your hook and how do you work. But even any even number is okay. The second row. Turn the work and chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this double crochet I will skip, and I'm going to work 1 single crochet on the top of the next double crochet, this one. I'm inserting the hook on the top of double crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and this is my single crochet. Now chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Find the next double crochet, and on the top of the double crochet I'm going to work a single crochet. Then again chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the top of the next double crochet I'm going to work a single crochet, and so on. It's a very easy row. You should only chain 4, and on the top of each double crochet work 1 single crochet. Between all the single crochets you should chain 4. I will show you for the last time. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Insert the hook on the top of the next double crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. It's a single crochet, and so on. Chain 4, single crochet, chain 4, single crochet. Let's meet at the end of the row. I'm at the end of the row. I'm chaining 4. I'm working a single crochet on the top of double crochet. Now I have no double crochets anymore, but as you remember, we have worked at the beginning of the previous row the chain of 3, and then we chained 1. The chain of 3 we have worked instead of 1 double crochet, and we'll use it like a double crochet. I'm chaining 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm inserting the hook, skipping 1 chain into the second chain, 1, 2, under the both parts of the chain, front and back. Now yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Our second row is completed. If you don't want to change the color of the yarn, you can proceed with the same yarn. I want to change the color. So if you want to change the color, do nothing. If you want to change the color, I will turn back to my uncompleted single crochet. I just eliminated this is the last stitch. Yes, I'm taking another yarn, and this last pulling through I will make with another yarn, with the yarn of another color. I have changed the color of the yarn. So the row number 3, turn the work, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and on the top of the single crochet, of the last single crochet, I'm going to work 3 double crochets. Yarn over, I'm inserting the hook on the top of the single crochet, and I'm working on the top of the single crochet. I'm working 3 double crochets. So I have here my chain of 3 and 1, 2, 3 double crochets. Now here I have the space under the chain. I'm going to insert the hook into this space, just not inside the chain but under the chain into this space, and I'm working a single crochet. Now here we have a single crochet, and I'm going to insert the hook on the top of the single crochet, but I'm going to use only the back side of the back loop of this stitch. I'm going to insert my hook not under 2 loops, 2 parts of the loop, but only under the back side of the loop. Here. Yes. So here I'm going to work 7 double crochets. Yarn over, I'm inserting the hook into the back side of the loop, and I'm working 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 double crochets. Now we have the chain. I am inserting the hook into the space under the chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and I made a single crochet. And again 7 double crochets on the top of the single crochet, using only the back loop, the back side of the loop. Yarn over. Maybe I will show you again. So this is the stitch on the top of the double crochet, and I'm going to insert the hook here. Yarn over. I'm inserting the hook into the back side of the stitch, and I'm working 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again I'm inserting the hook under the chain and working a single crochet, and again 7 double crochets on the top of the single crochet, using only the back side of the stitch. Yes, the front side is here and it's free. I didn't use it. So 7 double crochets here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again a single crochet under the chain, and again 7 double crochets on the top of the single crochet, using only the back part of the stitch, and so on till the end of the row. I'm at the end of the row. I worked 7 double crochets on the top of my single crochet. Here I have the chain of 5 that we have made at the beginning of the previous row. What does mean the chain of 5? That means that the first chain was instead of our single crochet, and then chain 4, like in every chain here. So I'm going to work 1 single crochet under this chain, in the space under the chain, and into the first chain I'm going to work 4 double crochets. Yarn over. Let's find our first chain. It is here, this one. So I'm going to insert my hook to the chain under both parts of the chain, then yarn over, pull through, pull through, pull through, and this is my first double crochet. Then the second double crochet, the third double crochet, and the fourth double crochet. The row is completed. Who wants to change the color? It's time to do it. Who doesn't want to change the color? Just proceed with the next row. I'm going back, turning back of one stitch, and I should pull through these two loops a new yarn, a white yarn. So I'm putting the yarn on my finger, and I'm working the last stitch here. I pulled through the last two loops with the yarn of a new color. Now let's check how many shells do we have. I should have 38 shells because I have worked 38 spaces. Let's count. This is not a complete shell, it's a half shell, and I will count it like as a half shell. So, complete shells: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, a half shell, and a half shell at the beginning makes one complete shell, the shell number 38. And I'm okay with my shells, with my calculations. Check the number of your shells. It should correspond the number of the spaces you have made before, you have calculated for your neckline. So let's proceed with the next row. Row number 4. Chain 1, and I'm going to work 7 double crochets on the top of the single crochet using the back part of the stitch of the loop. Yarn over. This is the top of my single crochet. I'm going to insert the hook here, and I'm going to work 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochets. Here I'm going to search the middle double crochet of this shell. It should be the 4th double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 4th double crochet. Yes, and from the other part, 1, 2, 3, the 4th. It is the middle. Here I'm going to work a single crochet. Now again 7 double crochets on the top of a single crochet using the back part of the stitch of the loop. Yarn over, and I'm inserting the hook here. And 7 double crochets. As you see, this row is the same of the previous one. The only difference is that we are going to work the single crochets on the top of the first double crochet in the middle of the shell. How many double crochets did I make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, another one, 7. Again, I'm searching the fourth double crochet. It's better to look it from the another side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This one. And a single crochet. And again 7 double crochets on the top of the single crochet, using only the back part of the loop. I think that here everything is clear. I will show you for the last time, and then we'll meet at the end of the row. Yarn over and 7 double crochets on the top of the single crochet, using the back part of the loop. And 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth double crochet, and on the top of the fourth double crochet a single crochet, and again 7 double crochets and a single crochet. Now let's complete this row and we'll meet. I'm at the end of the row. I have worked the shell of 7 double crochets, and here I have the shell of 3 double crochets and the chain of 3 we have made at the beginning of the row. The chain of 3 is instead of a double crochet, so I should consider it like the 4th double crochet. I have inserted the hook on the top of the chain in the 3rd chain, and I am working a single crochet. The row is completed. If you don't need to change the color, proceed with the next row. I'm changing the color, so I'm going back 1 loop, and I'm going to make the last stitch to pull through these 2 loops with the yarn of rose colored yarn. Now turn the work. Here we should chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and on the top of our single crochet I'm going to work 3 double crochets, using all every time when we work the complete shell or not complete shell of double crochets, we should use only the back side of the loop of the stitch. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to search the 4th double crochet of the shell. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one. I'm inserting the hook and I'm working a single crochet. Now all the rows will repeat. I will go ahead with you. Yarn over and 7 double crochets on the top of the single crochet, using only the back part of the loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and again 1, 2, 3, 4. On the top of the fourth double crochet, I'm going to work a single crochet. And again, yarn over, and on the top of our single crochet, using only the back side of the loop, I'm going to work 7 double crochets. I think here also everything is clear. Let's meet at the end of the row. I'm at the end of the row. I have worked a single crochet on the top of the fourth double crochet of the shell, and here I have no single crochets, but I have the chain. We have chained 1 at the beginning of the previous row, and this chain we have made instead of single crochet. So I will use this chain like a single crochet, and I will work 4 double crochets into this chain using the back side of the loop. 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I should change my yarn. I'm going 1 stitch back, I'm pulling through my white yarn, and now I can start a new row. All the rows will continue to work in the same mode. You should only look what to do, because when you finish here with a double crochet, 4 double crochets, and you turn your work, here you should start with chaining 1 and then working 7 double crochets on the top of our single crochet. But when you finish the row with a single crochet, you should start a new row with chaining 3 and working 3 double crochets. Maybe I will start and finish with you a couple of rows, and then you will go ahead alone. So here we have chained 1. Now yarn over, and on the top of our single crochet, using only the back side of the loop, I'm going to work 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the top of the 4th double crochet, and again 7 double crochets, 1 single crochet. Let's meet at the end of the row. I'm at the end of the row. I have worked the shell of 7 double crochets. Now I'm going to find my 4th double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and instead of the 4th double crochet, I have my chain of 3. I'm going on the top of the chain, and into the 3rd chain I'm working a single crochet. As you can see, the pattern of the row is equal. All the rows you make in the same way. I will show you another row, and then I think everyone will proceed himself. So here I need to change the yarn. I will have very many tails to hide at the end of the work. but I want it to be colored. I like as this side as this. I will decide after which one will be my right side. So I have already cut the yarn, and I'll start the next row. I'm changing the yarn, turn, I will pull my end. As I finished the row with a single crochet, so I'm working the chain of 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm working 3 double crochets on the top of my single crochet, using only back part of the loop. 1, 2, 3, and in the middle of the shell, 1, 2, 3, 4, on the top of the 4th double crochet, I'm working 1 single crochet. Then yarn over and 7 double crochets on the top of my single crochet, using only back part of the loop, and so on. I think it's easy. Nevertheless, we'll meet at the end of the row, and I will explain you how long should be our yoke. I'm at the end of the row. I have worked 1 single crochet on the top of the 4th double crochet. Now I have here my chain 1 of the beginning of the previous row. Then I'm going to work 4 double crochets all together into this chain, using the back side of the chain. One, 2, 3, and 4. Now I should change my yarn, turn the work, and as here I have finished with a double crochet, I will start with a single crochet. And instead of single crochet, I will chain 1. I think this is clear. The only thing we should to know now is how long should we work our yoke. This is my yoke now, and I really don't know which side is better, this one or that one. I think I have a little time to still to decide. Now we should decide how long do we need to proceed, where should we finish to make our yoke. I'm taking the cardigan and I'm taking the measures. I'm starting to measure the yoke line, this line, starting from the beginning of the neckline and finishing here when in the beginning of the sleeve. I have 14 centimeters, and if you don't have any cardigan of the baby, you can use the charts. And the chart also gives me the same measures, 13-14 centimeters. If I start from the very neckline I have 14 centimeters. If I start from here, it is 13 centimeters, and it's the same. In this case, it's the same. And for me also 14 centimeters will do. So I will proceed and I will finish when my yoke will be 14 centimeters length. From here, from the very beginning till the end, I need 14 centimeters. So let's go on. When you will reach the desired length, we'll meet. I have finished my yoke and also finished my white ball. This is what I have now from my ball of 50 grams. So let's take the measures. I have exactly 14 centimeters till here, and till here 13.5 centimeters. For me, these measures are okay, so I'm stop here. My last row is white. I decided to make it white because I have white yarn here. I will finish the top of my cardigan also with white yarn, with the row of white yarn, and here I will make the white edges. I decided that my right side will be this. This one is also very, very nice, but I decided that I prefer this one, this side. Here I have a lot of tails. I will hide them further and I will show you how I do it. Now let's distribute our yoke for the back side, front side and shoulders. I have put the yoke like it should be in our cardigan. Here I have a shell. I put shell up the shell. One shell is on the other shell. Let's count. 1 shell, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this is the 10th. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the 10th shell here. So I put it in a symmetrical mode. Now we are going to divide our yoke for the front side, back side, and the shoulders. I'm taking my cardigan and I'm putting it on my yoke. You should consider that our cardigan has more volume. It's larger, like it's more larger model like this one. This is very, very light cotton, and our cardigan is has more volume. So, but the proportions are the same. So I put my cardigan on my work. And I see, what do I see? I see that my sleeves of my cardigan which I'm making should be larger, of course, but the proportions are the same. I will put my stitch marker here. This will be my sleeve here, and another sleeve in the symmetrical mode here. These will be my sleeves. Let's look, what do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 couples, 4 pairs of shells, 8 shells, and this is the 9th shell for the sleeve. And here 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs, it's 8 shells plus 1, 9 shells. Okay, if you don't have any cardigan of the baby, you can take the measures. You can consult the charts and take the measures, but you should consider that, for example, my daughter's chest circumference is 50 centimeters, but under this cardigan she will put a t-shirt, she will put a blouse. So then I want it I want her to wear this cardigan 2 years, I think. The first year it will be a little bit longer, the second year it will be okay, because the length doesn't matter. It's a cardigan, and it should be large model. So I think that I will add about I don't know, 8 centimeters for the circumference. Let's take the measures. How long do I have my length here? It's 28 centimeters, 28 front side plus 28 back side is 56 centimeters, as I wanted. 50 centimeters is the circumference of the chest of my daughter, plus t-shirt, plus blouse, and then plus some centimeters for the movement. For me it's okay. So, perfect. Let's put better our stitch markers. One we'll put on the front side, one on the back side. Here also one we'll put on the front side, and I will show you how you can use the piece of the yarn instead of stitch marker. Just insert the hook, grab the yarn, pull it through. In here you can make a little knot, just not to lost your yarn. That is okay. Now another thing that I want to show you, if you don't want, you can leave it like this and don't make it. If you see any cardigan, any t-shirt, any blouse, any things that you buy in the shop, look, the neckline of the front side is longer than the back side, because our body is like this and our body requires this shape. And let's look at our neckline. The same line has the front part and the back part. I never leave it like this, no for my cardigans, t-shirts, no for my daughters. What shall I do? I will add a couple of rows on the back side, and in this mode my back side become longer and my neckline from the back side will be here, and my neckline of the front side will be here, like in every garment that you buy in the shop. I will let you see. It's very easy thing. If you want to do it, you're welcome. If you doesn't want to do it, just skip a couple of minutes of the video and you will arrive at the point where we can continue together. So this is our yoke, front side and back side. The back side I have marked from here to here. As I said, I'm going to work a couple of rows only on the back side. As here I have work the white row, so I should turn it on the wrong side and start from this stitch marker. It's the back side stitch marker. I have 2 stitch markers. From this stitch marker I will start. So I'm going to insert the hook here, because our pattern is every time the same. I'm inserting the hook on the top of my single crochet using only the back side of the loop. I'm taking my rose yarn, then I'm working 1, 2, 3 chains, yarn over, a double crochet, the second double crochet, and the third double crochet. Now 1, 2, 3, 4. On the top of the first double crochet I'm working a single crochet, and like before 7 double crochets all together into the same stitch using only the back side of the loop. And so till the second stitch marker. I arrived at my stitch marker. I'm putting it away, and here I'm going to work 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, like at the end of our row. Now I'm turning the work. I need to open a new bowl, a new white bowl, because I finished my bowl. So I'm taking a white yarn, and as before here when we started the row, I'm making the same operation. Yes, here I should turn back 1 stitch back, and the last stitch I will pull through a white yarn. Okay, I have the white yarn here. So chain 1, yarn over, and 7 double crochets on the top of my single crochet using only the back part of the loop. And again 1, 2, 3, 4 on the top of the first double crochet 1 single crochet, and so on till here, till when we have started the row, till our stitch marker. I am at the end. 1, 2, 3. The fourth is our chain. I'm inserting the hook on the top of the chain here, and I'm working a single crochet. Let's look what do we have now. We have a lot of ends to hide. Yes, but it will be nice. It's worth this work. So I'm putting together my stitch markers, and I put my white, in my case, my white shell, one upon another. Here, here also, yes, and let's look at our neckline. Now our back side neckline is higher, and our front side neckline is lower. only here we have only little more than 1 centimeter. But for my girl, for my daughter, she's 1 year and 3 months, almost 4 months, it's okay. For the girl more than 3 years, I suggest you to work another 2 rows here to make the difference more, like this. Till 3 years, it's okay, only 2 rows. More than 3 years, I suggest you to add 2 rows. And another thing, when you add the rows here, it should be even number of the rows, because our last row on the back side will be the same like in the rest of the yoke. I have 2 colors, so it's easy to see that I have finished here with white shells, and here also on the back side I finished with the white shells. If you are working with the same color, check it. You should check it carefully. Now cut the yarn. We cut the yarn after every row, unfortunately. Cut the yarn and let's connect our parts, back side with the front side. I finished my row here, so I will turn my yoke. You could finish it from the other side. You just should find your last tail. I finished it here. I'm turning the yoke, so I will start a new row here. I've changed my yarn for the rows. Now here I finished with a single crochet, so I'm going to work double crochets. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, and using only the back side of the stitch, I'm going to work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2, 3 on the top of the 4th double crochet I'm working a single crochet, and so on will work till this stitch marker. I arrived at my stitch marker. That signs that our front side is finished. Here we have the shoulder, and till here is the shoulder, and from the next stitch marker we have the back side. And here we worked I worked 2 rows. Maybe you worked 4 rows or nothing. It doesn't matter. In our case, I remove this stitch marker. I'm making yarn over, and I'm going to insert my hook, not like in the pattern using the back side of my single crochet. No, here I should make a solid connection. I'm going to insert the hook where I worked my single crochet on the top of my double crochet of this row, because I need to make a solid connection. I'm going here where I have a stitch marker. If you didn't made these rows on the back side, you should insert the hook here. Yes, you have a stitch marker here. This is your single crochet. This is your double crochet under the single crochet. You should insert your hook under the single crochet here on the top of the double crochet. Who made the rows more as me should insert the hook in the same chain where you worked a single crochet here. And let's start working a double crochet. And another double crochet in the same mode. Check 1 and check 2 that everything is okay. And the third double crochet. 1, 2. Look, Now we have very solid connection. We have made 3 double crochets. Now yarn over, and I'm going to work the 4th double crochet using only the stitch of our back side. I'm not going to insert my hook on the right side anymore. Here. This is the 4th double crochet, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th double crochet. I will pull my white yarn. That is now 1, 2, 3, the 4th double crochet. I'm working a single crochet here, and what do we have now? I remember you that this shell is under your arm, under the arm of your baby. So it's not very nice, but it's solid, and it will not be seen because the next one will be perfect. Let's continue our work till the end of our rows on the back side, or till the stitch marker for those who didn't work these rows. I arrived at the end of my back side. I'm making yarn over. Those people who didn't work these additional rows at the back side should enter the hook under the last single crochet here, just as you want to repeat and work another single crochet here. I'm going to insert my hook under my single crochet here. I didn't work on a single crochet here. Here there was only a chain of 1. Then I'm going to insert the hook under this chain. Then I'm going to search my stitch marker. I'm putting it away. Then I'm going to insert my hook under the single crochet where I have got my stitch marker here, just like I want to repeat this single crochet. And I'm going to work a double crochet, yarn over, again and again. The second double crochet, inserting the hook under the both parts of the cardigan, and again inserting under the both single crochets. I have worked 3 double crochets. Now I'm going to work 4 double crochets, inserting the hook only under the single crochet of this part, of the front part. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3. A single crochet on the top of the first double crochet. And that is what we have, what I have. I should just pull the tails of the yarn. I have made a connection. As here, it's not perfect, but it's good. It's under the arm, under the armholes. So the next one, all the next shells will be perfect, and this is okay. We have made a connection, and it is solid, a solid connection. So we are going to finish the row in our usual mode, using our pattern, we'll meet at the end of the row. I have completed my row with 4 double crochets all together into the same stitch, using only the back side of the loop. Now, what do we have now? That is what do we have now. The only thing that we need to do is continue our work. I finished here. Everything now is connected. I should just turn my work, start with the white yarn, and proceed till another border, till other edge. Now everybody will proceed till we'll arrive at the desired length. The length could be very different, because your cardigan can be short, long, medium length, as you want. When I will be over with my length, I will tell it how long is my cardigan. You could see the photo on my daughter, and then you can decide your length. Maybe it will help you to find your length. I'm over with my cardigan, almost over. I've worked till my white color. The only thing I have changed, I changed a hook. Here I started to work from this rose color. I started to work with a hook 4 millimeters, and here I passed to a hook 4.5 millimeters. So I worked 1, 2, 3, 4 rows rounds with a hook 4.5, and 1, 2, 3, 4 rows rounds with a hook 4 millimeters. The length is from here, yes, from here till the bottom, it's 35 centimeters. I have finished also one part of my front side. Look how many ends do we have here. I waved all the ends, and I worked a white border here. This is not the border. This is my last row with the white yarn. Yes, I worked the same shells on the border to make the same edge, but this wasn't our edge. It's only I finished with the white white yarn. No ends, only this one, because I finished here the yarn of this row, and I started to work with the white yarn. Now I'll show you how did I wave the ends. There is a lot of ends. So the last one here, it's white, it's alone. I will wave it together with my border end yarn. If you pull a little bit the yarns, they are loose now, pull a little bit, you can see that the white yarn is very close to rose yarn, and again white yarn is very close to rose yarn. Look, white and rose, white and rose. Maybe you have the same white and rose. So what do? I'm making a knot, normal, simple, plain knot. Pull a little bit, so not to leave it very loose, but not to tight it, just to put together these two ends. Then I'm taking one end, now it's white, and from my wrong side, first of all I should fix this end. I'm making a stitch to fix the yarn. Now it's fixed very good. And now I'm waving it. Where? Surely where I have my white shell. Fix a little bit another time. And now just waving. But which part it's better to wave? Here. Not from here to here, because here we have a hole. It's not good. Wave somewhere here. And if you put the needle inside the yarn, I mean in this mode, not between the yarn to wave, if you put the needle inside the yarn, it will be fixed better. In this case, not every time, in this case, yes, it will be better. Don't go from our insert the needle that it goes out from our right side. Everything we should do from our wrong side. Okay. And a little bit in other direction. Okay, that's all. I can cut away the yarn. The same with a rose yarn. I'm pulling a little bit to find a good position, not tight and not loose. Then I'm fixing the yarn fixed good. Now I'm starting to wave it. And couple of stitches in another direction. That's good. Cut away the yarn. That is. There is a very lot of ends, but it's about half an hour of work. All these yarns you will wave in half an hour. I'm over with waving my ends. And now let's start to finish our edge. Here I finished my row in the bottom of the cardigan or the vest, and I cut away the yarn. it wasn't a good idea. If you didn't do it, don't do it. You could just proceed to use the yarn. I'm inserting my hook into the last 2 stitches. I have inserting my hook into the last 2 stitches. I'm taking a new yarn, grab the yarn, pull through. Now I'm going to work the shell of 7 double crochets, the same shell like here, 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 yarn over, into the space under the single crochet, somewhere under. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I'm going to work a single crochet under the next single crochet. I skip 1 shell and I'm inserting the hook somewhere under the single crochet. Somewhere, there's no exact space. And again, yarn over, and I'm going to work the shell of 7 double crochets, skipping this shell under this single crochet, somewhere under. Here, no, here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and again I'm skipping this shell, 1 shell, and I'm working a single crochet under the single crochet, and I have the same decoration all around our cardigan. Let's proceed, and we'll have this. Let's meet at the end and we'll look where and how could we finish. I'm at the end. I have only 1 shell here, so I'm making yarn over. I'm inserting the hook here into the space where I have worked this shell, and I'm working 7 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here, what do I have? I have no shell anymore. I have our initial chain, initial nice chain. I'm going to insert my hook, skipping these 2 chains. I have chain, yes. Skipping these 2 chains on the top. I'm going to insert the hook under the both parts of this chain, like that is, and I'm working now a slip stitch. That's all. I almost finished my second ball of white yarn. I want to show you what do I have now. This border I have made now. From the other side the same. Our cardigan is ready. We should do only a coat. We'll do it now. Look, all the borders are perfectly round. Here, the round border. The border all round the cardigan. Here. And here. The same borders around the sleeves. Underarm space is perfect here. It is the same and perfect here. Here I have had a loose stitch and I just tied it with the piece of yarn, the end of the yarn. Now let's do a cord. I want to make the cord with the ruffles at the ends, and I want to make it with rose yarn. I've taken a hook 2.5 millimeters. I want to work my cord more tighten, so I'm making a slip knot and I'm going to chain. I'm going to chain very long cord. I made a chain long 120 centimeters because I want to make also ruffles. Let's start with the ruffles. Yarn over, and I'm going to work a double crochet into the third chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3. The third chain, but I will not insert the hook here. I'd like, as it is a cord, I like to turn my chain and insert the hook here. 1, 2, 3. The third space, and I'm working a double crochet. Into the same chain I'm going to work another 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Why do I do this? Because this part of the chain is nice and I want to leave it like this, and I don't want to use these V stitches. I want to use this side of the chain. That's not so nice. Now yarn over, and I'm going to work 3 double crochet into the next chain here. 1, 2, 3, and again 3 double crochets into the next chain, and so on till you will like the length of your ruffles. I'm over with my ruffle. It's twisted, and the length is 5 centimeters, 5.5 centimeters. Now I'll proceed in this mode. I will work 1 half double crochet into the next stitch. So half double crochet, yarn over, pull through, and now yarn over, pull through all these 3 loops. This is a half double crochet. Now I'm going to work a single crochets, 1 chain, 1 single crochet, till I will reach the beginning of the next ruffle. You should count how many stitches you used to make this ruffle. Then from the end of the chain you should count the same number of chains. Put the marker, for example, stitch marker, or count it, and that's all. Stop here working your single crochets, one chain before. Into the next chain you should work 1 half double crochet and proceed to make a ruffle. To work 3 double crochets all together into the same chain. I will show you. I'm arriving at my ruffle. I'm making yarn over, and I'm going to insert the hook into the next stitch and work 1 half double crochet. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all these 3 loops. Now yarn over, and I'm going to work 3 double crochets all together into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, and again 3 double crochets all together into the next stitch. My ruffle is longer 22 stitches. My cord is ready. The total length is 104 centimeters of my cord. Now the last thing that we should do is to insert the cord into these spaces. I have inserted the cord, and now I can say that our work, our cardigan is ready.